So steep. Oh, keep going.
Can I open the door again? What is it? You should know the way.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry. Because I'm scared of heights, you know.
Walang ilaw ate, yan ang bubuksan para sweet. Oh my gosh. Look at this.
Oh, it's only one room.
Nawili ka.
Low-key downgrade. Santa Monica. Santa
San
Monica
Francisco.
was...
This is San Francisco.
Ayan, malinis pa.
Yeah, go. So how is it in San Francisco?
Awesome!
How is it? How is it?
It's cool.
All downhill?
Shopping center. Shopping center. Oh, are we going? Maganda. Wala ka ng sombrero, mag-sombrero ka. Ito, yung hood nito.
Meron ako. Meron.
Kasi sasakit ang ulo mo.
I know. Oh well.
That's all I know. That's my favorite thing.
I should have a picture here.
Oo, yun naman natin eh.
A local artist, although this very special one up here on the right, which is International Klein Orange, just like the Golden Gate Bridge on the back, and has a painting of the Golden Gate Bridge on the front. That one was painted by Tony Bennett, and that was the kickoff
Yung ano
to the Hearts in SF program back in 2004. He's saying, I left my heart in San Francisco. That one is on permanent display. It is not for sale or auction, but all the other ones on the corners, including this one over here on the right, those go up every year around Valentine's SF, and the proceeds go to the San Francisco General Hospital Cardiac Foundation. Usually the final bid is somewhere between $10,000 and $30,000. Now up ahead of us, wow, that's great. By the way, I will call up the stops. Raise your hand for me if you want that stop. If you're downstairs with Rigo, yell out loud and clear, next stop please, so he can hear you. I can't see you through the my floor, your ceiling, and Rigo can't see you because he's got his eyes on the road. Chinatown gates up ahead were built in 1972, designed by a local Chinese-American architect named Calvert Lee. The tile, green tile, comes from Taiwan, and these are the only Chinatown gates in the world that have that green tile, besides actual Chinese villages in China and the Chinatown gates in San Francisco. Anything you can find at Fisherman's Wharf that says Chinatown on it, get for about a third of the price. Sorry, anything at Fisherman's Wharf that says San Francisco on it, get for about a third of the price here in Chinatown. The sign underneath the Chinatown gates is a quote from Dr. Sun Yat-sen, who was the first president of the People's Republic of China. It translates to, all things under heaven for the good of the people. On our right, we're passing by a small French district in San Francisco. It used to be more French Americans living here. We passed Café de la Presse, Restaurant Le Central, Hotel de Art, and this is Café Claude down Claude Alley. Now back during the 1915 Panama Pacific Exposition, just a couple blocks ahead of us at the foot of Bush Street, at the corner of Market, there was a full-size papier-mâché recreation of the Arc de Triomphe of Paris, just to let people coming to town know exactly where our French section was. This tall brown building is the Bank of America Tower over here on the right. The windows are configured that way so that back when it was built in 1969, as I mentioned, this was the tallest building on the West Coast when it was built back in 1969. Only for a year though, then we built the Arcadia Tower down in Los Angeles, and was no longer the tallest building in San Francisco as of 1972 when the Transamerica Pyramid was built. However, as I said, the height of the pyramid has already been surpassed by the Salesforce Tower, and that will officially be our tallest building. There, the goddesses of commerce up ahead and up. Now the second one, the middle one on this side, actually fell during the 1989 Loma Prieta earthquake. Fortunately, those goddesses are tethered to the roof of the building. She fell a couple stories, did break some windows. And the San Francisco Chronicle, the local newspaper, did an interview with a man who happened to be walking out of his office. He left work just a tiny bit early that day. The earthquake hit at 5:04 p.m. And ground started shaking, and he looked up and saw that statue coming at him, and then she stopped, and he said, "Made me want to be a better person." Over here on the right, back in front of the Bank of America Tower, That black granite sculpture is called Transcendence. It is meant to represent the changing shadow of the Bank of America Tower throughout the day. However, it's shaped a bit like the human heart, and we went running into the original Bank of America building on Montgomery Street, pulled out $2 million, that's in 1906 money, in cash and gold and jewelry, and used that to make low interest and no collateral loans to various people who had lost their businesses during the fires. San Francisco did take a few years to rebuild. We wouldn't have rebuilt half as quickly without APG&E's help. And I think 95% of the people he made loans to had him paid back in full and within a couple of years. But there was no way for them to have collateral because they had no businesses left. The 1906 fires actually took out 85% of 3 square miles of San Francisco, including the area that we're in right now. There are a few survivors down here. For instance, coming up ahead on the right, just past this more modern rounds, it starts very thick around the base and gets thinner as it goes up. And like redwood trees, it actually is a good steakhouse. And Tadic's 2 oldest businesses, we're not 100% sure which one started first, are the Bodine Bakery, which started with Auguste Boudin. He pronounced it Boudin, the locals say Bodine, pushing rolls in a bread cart. And Levi's started with Levi's Street. We're about to head on to Market Street. This is a hub of transportation for San Francisco. It's about 3.5 miles long, which is half the length of the city. And most of our buses go down Market Street. All of our electric buses and trolleys come down Market Street. And our motorized buses, if they don't go down Market Street, they at least cross it briefly, usually to head to the Transbay Terminal, which is south of here. That's on our right as we make this turn, and just a couple blocks south. And they can catch buses that go across the bay. Is anyone getting off at the ferry building stop? I'm going for the ferry building stop. Underground on Market Street is also a hub of transit. BART runs under. During rush hour, it's definitely faster than the cars. In San Francisco, BART runs underground. In other parts of the Bay Area, it comes up above the ground. Usually runs over the freeways or right next to them. And we also have our light rail that runs just within the city of San Francisco underground. If you notice some construction around Union Square, that's the construction for the night tour. The Bay Bridge is known as the older, uglier sister of the Golden Gate Bridge. It's a similar structure, although painted gray instead of orange. And back in 2013, when they were rebuilding the east span of the Bay Bridge, they blinged up the west span, which is what we're seeing ahead of us. They put twinkling white LED lights on those vertical cables, and they twinkle in patterns at night. Absolutely gorgeous. The patterns do not repeat exactly for over 10 years. On our night tour, it starts at 6 o'clock at our first.
No, nakaano.
The west span of the Bay Bridge goes to Yerba Buena Island, which we can see over here on the right. And the east span, we can just barely see the tip of one of the towers. We'll have a better view of it once we get past the ferry building. The east span continues on to Oakland.
Golden Gate, Philip.
Over under the bridge across the bay, you can see the port of Oakland. And those large cranes, they look like either horses or giraffe, depending on if they've got their necks down. Those inspired the Imperial walkers in the Star Wars movies. R2-D2 was inspired by the Palace of Fine Arts.
Where's the seagull?
And you see, is anybody getting off at the Exploratorium stop? That is Pier 5 and Pier 7. get another good look at Yerba Buena Island over here to the right. You can see the Tower of the East Span behind it. And next to Yerba Buena Island, to our left, is Treasure Island. That was built for the 1939 World Expo. It was a World's Fair. And Treasure Island, the best part of it now is its views of San Francisco. You can see the Transamerica Pyramid again over here on the left. A couple of apartment buildings in the way, and then we'll be able to see a good solid view of it. It's 48 stories high compared to the 52 of the Bank of America building, but the observation deck at the top actually makes it just a little bit taller. Unfortunately, the observation deck is no longer open to the public. Hasn't been since 9/11. You have to work in the building and have a pass to get to that observation deck. Look at that fog. Was trying to make its way up the hill. Was winning that fight. The horses were falling back. The firemen actually jumped out and were trying to push the engine from behind. And Lily thought quickly, dropped her box with her bridesmaid's dress, and it went banging on all the doors in the neighborhood. Got the men to come out and help push. By the way, is anyone getting off at Pier 35? All right, no one for Pier 35. Got the Knickerbocker number 5 engine up the hill, and saved everyone in it. Firefighters let her start riding in their parades after that. When she grew up, she left $130,000 to the city of San Francisco. That's about $1.6 million in modern money. And they built a statue of some firemen, one of them carrying a little girl, in Washington Square at 10:15. Blue line is always up at the front of the line at our final and first stop. That's at the corner of Jefferson and Leavenworth. The red line is always in the back, about halfway back next to a sign for In-N-Out Burger.
Oo, ano eh.
Over here on the left, this green and cream colored trolley is a 1950s San Francisco trolley. Back in the 1980s, we were refurbishing the trolleys and wanted to keep them running, so we pulled old ones out of the warehouses and borrowed trolleys.
Look at the trees,
all over
Philip.
the world.
The trees.
People enjoyed riding on the different kinds of trolleys so much that we started just running them full time instead of borrowing them. Bought them. This is, of course, Alcatraz over here on the right. Prison was
Oo, yung
decommissioned
Alcatraz yun.
back in 1963. Basically, it was too expensive to run because all the supplies had to be trucked there by ferry. I mentioned the Bodine Bakery back when we were in the financial district, one of our 2 oldest businesses in San Francisco. Didn't start out in this big flagship store up ahead, but it has been here since the 1960s. And of course, this is the famous Fisherman's Wharf crab sign. Up there's that smell of boat and sourdough.
Oh, this is the crab.
Fisherman's Wharf crab sign is a must take a picture for tourists. Now, people always want to know where you can get the best seafood in Fisherman's Wharf. I particularly like Skoma's. They do their own fishing. You can actually see the Skoma's fishing boat right there.
Oh, the tires.
And they have wonderful scallops, particularly. But really, any seafood restaurant around here, it's going to be good. It is going to be fresh caught that day. A bad seafood restaurant wouldn't last long. There's just too much competition.
Is it pricey, the Skoma's?
Skoma's is pricey. We're talking $25 or $30 entrees, so it's definitely for special occasions. The way to get to it is up ahead, that round sign pointing to the right, orange sign with a fish on it, says Skoma's down the pier. Now, it's a lot harder to find good, inexpensive seafood in Fisherman's Wharf, but we have also got a hookup for that. Unfortunately, the Cod Mother is not open on Tuesdays. If you're still here tomorrow, she'll be open at 11:30 for lunch. But over here, this blue and yellow food truck serves very good fish and chips. We imported an English woman from Worcester to cook up the fresh local cod. That is all fresh and beautifully cooked, but $11 for a regular will feed two people. Alright, the blue line will be up ahead of us, heading out at 10 o'clock. That is the one that will get you out to the Golden Gate Bridge, and that's also the 2-hour tour all the way around.
Dad, how do I check pictures? How do I take pictures? I mean, look at my pictures.
Later on, later. Go, 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 go. Okay. Ooh, what? My butt's...
Ito nga pag ano, no?
Firmly seat you and forget you're in a double-decker bus except for the view. A few rules as we make our way through the city. Nobody is to stand while the bus is moving except for me. Why? Because I know where to duck. Yeah, mostly. I will get hit by one branch. You can laugh. That happens every time. No selfie sticks. So, because there are wires above us, and you'll be in for pretty soon for you guys to be getting off. Especially with this beautiful view. We're heading towards the Golden Gate Bridge, but I hope you'll stay with me for the entire moonlight tour. Nobody's getting out of here very soon. You may have noticed some people swimming out there. They do that for, oh, there's one. He's doing that for fun. That water is a steamy 9 degrees Celsius or 50 degrees Fahrenheit. They swim from Alcatraz and back. The Dolphin Club. The youngest person to do so did it last year, about 6 months ago. He was 12. He won $200 from his dad. He didn't know to ask for more, right? But they might come here to our right to Ghirardelli Square at their chocolate shops. They have 3 chocolate shops, one at the bottom, one at the top, the middle, and one at the top. But this part of Ghirardelli Square only dates back to the 1960s. The original Ghirardelli Chocolate Factory is when we get to this cross street and you look down into your right, you'll actually see the difference between the brick buildings. See, this is just a facade of brick. The earthquake retrofitting is underneath. When you look down into the right at our original Ghirardelli Chocolate Factory that was right here that will open in 1852, Domingo Ghirardelli came to San Francisco. O.J. Simpson also went to Galileo High. The football field was named after O.J. That changed in the 90s. I can't tell you why. People finally saw his movies. He was a terrible actor. Some would say the name fit like a glove. To our right, you're getting a great look at Fort Mason. This is a former military fort to our right. It closed as a military fort in 1967, but it was a fort of embarkment. Over 1 million soldiers left for World War II from Fort Mason and 900,000 supplies. It's now rental properties, youth hostel, Academy of Art University, and a vegan restaurant that I will never go to. Right? One of my favorite restaurants in the city is called Bacon. Right? They're known for bacon. I'm not going to get a restaurant. My favorite sandwich at Bacon is very San Franciscan. It's the LGBT. It's lettuce, goat cheese, bacon, and tomato. And it's delicious. Now we do have stops on the flat side of Lombard. That's where the zigzags are not. Our first one is Lombard. Not everybody can come to that. Now we are on Van Ness, which is one of the widest streets in San Francisco. As you go through the city, you'll notice how narrow our streets tend to be. Now, Van Ness wasn't always this wide. See, something happened in 1906. There was a great big earthquake and then a fire. See, the earthquake only lasted 40 seconds, but the fire lasted for 3 days. Way in a long time, but if you look up, see all that group of trees, that huge square, just remember wonder that's what you see there. So I want to remember how big that is. Forward to how big it is. Now, if you were to take this line again and get out at our first stop up here at Lombard and Goff, what you would find over to our right would be the Marina District. You
Saan yung
can walk to
Lombard
Fort
dito?
Mason. Beautiful park with beautiful views. Also great restaurants. Very young community there. If you were to walk from that stop to our left, go in, that's Cow Hollow, but locals won't call it that. That's Union Street. Union Street has one of our original octagonal or 8-sided houses, built in 1861. It has one of the oldest palm trees in San Francisco, at 150 years old, which is also located in a restaurant. So if you were taking a tour, that would be See, Cow Hollow gets its name over to our left because during the gold rush in the 1850s, that was dairy farms. And I often wonder, because it gets so foggy here in the city, if that's where we got the cowbell, because you needed to hear the cow before you could see it. I don't know that. It does. Sometimes I don't mention the bridge until we're there, and then you still can't see it. Any questions, let me know. And remain seated if you're coming down. Just follow me. I'll get you pointed in the right direction.
Yeah, I'm the sticks of taking now. Wow,
This
nice.
is the visitor center where you can visit one of the cables. You'll see that little lady up there posing.
I need coffee.
There's a cafe. You don't have to
cold.
if you want to come with me, my dear. Otherwise, this one will come back every month.
Okay, baba na dito.
Mamaya na, pagbalik. Pagbalik.
Ah, hindi tayo baba.
No, we're gonna
And
go
it
to
looks like this will be
Sausalito.
your bus for
Oh.
South.
Wow, so sad. Oh, there's 24 magnets inside. 1895.
For your teacher?
That's for me.
Oh.
Mark. Can we just get that banner? It's only $4.95 plus tax.
How much?
It's probably like oh my god, mommy. I like this one. Why is mommy so cheap? Mommy, I like this one. Mommy, why are you so cheap?
Oh, we got it. Okay, so what's happening?
Chocolate.
Okay, I'll give you chocolate, but if you tell me what's happening.
You just
Yo, where's
the
the water?
Golden Gate Bridge is like
Where
right
is
over
it?
there.
Where is it? I'm blocking it. It's right there.
Yeah.
And
We took a break. We went to
Here.
We went to a
gift
gift
shop.
shop, and then
There's the water. Hold it.
and then we bought some stuff. I bought something for my teacher, and she
I got
bought
chocolate.
Show them the chocolate.
Little and tiny. And wait, hold on. This is the best part.
It doesn't have any peanuts, so that's good for me.
Okay, so where's mommy and daddy? Hold them back.
Huh?
Where's mommy and daddy?
We're in the washroom and we're just waiting here.
Yeah. What are we gonna do?
Nothing really special around us, except for that Golden Gate Bridge. And I don't know what to do right now, so.
Okay, so let's tell you a story.
Okay.
So, short story. Yesterday, and like all day, every time we go to like a public place with Wi-Fi, I try to connect and it never works. So that sucks for
We
me.
had pancakes for breakfast at
Breakfast?
McDonald's.
Breakfast?
No, breakfast.
Okay, let's save it. I want to save it. No more. Okay, so what else happened? My chocolate. Put it back.
No, okay.
I can't see now. Okay. Tell them anything else that happened.
Nothing really more. We'll come back to you later when there's something. I can feel it, and I'm ugly. I'm Isabel, and I have a tiny voice like my dad. I'm the beautiful child. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Ito pala ang mas malapit.
I wanna go home. Philip, let's go into the water. I'm so ugly. Like my gravity is rolling up there.
Mommy, smile. Your double chin's you. I can see your double chin.
Like that o ganon?
Look this way. No, look at me, but look that way. Wait.
May kalokohan yung ginagawa. Yung dalawa ay magkapatid.
By the way, I'm a mom.
Okay, Philip. So we just no guys, like let me talk, okay? So we took about 1 million photos. Just like now, we had like a mini photo shoot with mommy and daddy,
Walking across the
and now we're gonna walk to where are we going, Philip?
Video mo po.
I am.
We'll walk.
Slowly ang paningan.
Are you
Okay, so there's the bridge. We're gonna go there. Philip.
Wait, are we gonna walk across the whole bridge?
I don't know. I don't want to. Yeah. Too bad.
Why are we gonna walk across the
Have a choice. Either dito sa... Saan yung In-N-Out Burger ate? Ito yung blue eh. Babalik doon eh.
Yay! Let's
Oh, yan oh, San Francisco bus oh.
Now we have to ask...
California. If you're able to do it, you should. It's over 100,000 tons of steel, 760 feet tall. Amazingly, so the federal government didn't want to have anything to do with this bridge in the 30s. The concern was that too many people would die. Could have been exceeded 1,000. The civil engineer behind the Golden Gate Bridge, Joe Strauss, he was quite an innovator, mandating hard hats and lobbying Congress for that. Only 11 people died building this bridge in 1935, and they did while attaching the safety net. It's a group of 23. Yeah, a group of 20. Yeah. And ahead we have the 5 other tour guides capturing this tunnel down. No. I knew a guy in New York. I lived in New York for 9 years, about 10 years, and I knew a guy who would walk about 12. Yeah. Okay. Golden Gate Park, guys. This part is the Japanese tea garden. If anyone's hopping off of the Japanese tea garden, let me know. We'll keep on trucking, Johnny. Really, this park should not be here. It is quite a miracle in civil engineering that this even took place. In fact, Central Park, Federal Law Olmsted, Central Park was the most ambitious and innovative urban park in the world. And I mean, Central Park in New York was created in the early 19th century out of a slab of granite in the middle of Manhattan. And so he arrived here and presented, he was a fraud. When he arrived, he was a fraud. And he presented the city with a proposal, a preposterous idea of a park, which is very similar to what you see today, that original map. So the Japanese tea garden on your right, this is an 1894 exhibit, a part of the World's Fair in 1890s that was created to demonstrate to the world the moderate climate of San Francisco. Alcoholic Scottish gardener who took the money and he sailed to Scotland, John McClure. Hey guys, this is Golden Gate Park's California Academy of Sciences, the best museum in the city. Are we hopping off? Okay, we'll keep on trucking. You see the conservatory of flowers just that away. Well, who's the city's only albino alligator. He's an albino alligator. Did you see him? Did you go? Yeah. How's he doing? Is he missing a finger? You thought he was fake, so you pet him? He's not? Yeah. Well, he's going through a rough patch, actually. He was introduced Thursday nights are adult nights. 21 and over Thursday nights. They're terrific, by the way. And, he was introduced at an adult night recently to a lady gator. And the plan was it was very large. But on the first date, she took the mask and that will. And then they could plant around these smaller fertile gardens, protected from the drifting sands, and by 1879, with irrigation from sewage, these kids planted 155,000 trees into what is today's Golden Gate Park. 20% larger than Central Park in New York, and most florally diverse in the nation. I know that, so the Conservatory of Flowers is awesome. It's on Sonora Desert. Anyhow, let's see, you got the eucalyptus, you saw the Australian friends. So they were brought here, it was a different lumber baron than the one whose son haunts the Miss Doubtfire house that I mentioned earlier. This lumber baron was interesting.
The bridge, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful views of San Francisco. I can see why you want to get married there. There's also a fishing pier down there. I can see why you would want to go fishing and get married down there. Oh, I mean, views of the Golden Gate Bridge from there. Now this was referred to back in the early 1900s as the Ellis Island of the West Coast. It was an immigration processing center. Later on it was used as a military base, and during World War II it was actually used as a prisoner of war camp. Later, after the attack on Pearl Harbor by the Japanese, it was turned into internment camps. That's where they put all the Japanese Americans after the attack on Pearl Harbor. Today it's a state park. You can take a nice ferry boat ride over. They have all the historical buildings on the other side of the island, mostly. The detention centers and the immigration processing center. You can take a hike around the island. You can climb to the top of Mount Livermore. They have a tram tour, bike rentals. You can go camping, kayaking, swimming. They even have a restaurant there called The Cafe. And pretty soon, coming next year, they're going to have cabins with Wi-Fi. That's right, Wi-Fi. No running water, but you'll have Wi-Fi, so you'll be able to play with your phone all day long. Now coming up on the left right here, I'm going to show you what the prices of these houses are. So I just know that this blue house to the left right here, that's kind of Victorian style, sold a year ago for $6 million. Okay?
Wow.
Shortly after he bought it, they started tearing up the whole garage and the whole foundation. I'm like, what? Are you telling me this guy spent $6 million on a house he had to fix up? Wow. But it is the truth, folks. It is the truth.
They're rich.
Now, when I first started working here 4 years ago, houses in Sausalito, wow, they were cheap. Well, if you call $1 million cheap, they were really cheap. With these views, man, priceless, really. So at the bottom of the hill, you were able to find houses under $1 million. Halfway up the hill, 1.5 billion, maybe 1.2. Well, good luck on that today. Good luck on finding a fixer-upper under $1 million. So today, a quarter of the way, you're looking at somewhere around 2.5 to $3 million, folks. But you'll see why they pay so much. And it seems like the economy is not stopping, and prices are going higher and higher. Trust me. So this is why they pay so much. Look at these beautiful views, folks. Imagine living up halfway up the hill, being able to go out to your patio and having a nice cup of coffee, enjoying this beautiful view right here. Wow, priceless. Well, no, there's a price on this, but it's still beautiful. And of course, at night, it lights up really nice. It's really, really nice. Now, right next to Angel Island, across from it, something that looks like an island with houses on it. That's not an island, that's part of the mainland. Its name is Tiburon. Tiburon is Spanish word for shark. But that's where late comedian, actor Robin Williams used to live. Now, today you can still find band members from the heavy metal band Metallica living in Tiburon. A little further north of here, you'll find San Rafael, and that's where I bumped into Carlos Santana twice, shopping at Trader Joe's. Right here to the right, you'll find the legendary seafood restaurant Skomas, which seems to have been closed all day long. I'm not sure why. But they have this legendary seafood restaurant in San Francisco at Fisherman's Wharf. Now they have another amazing place right here coming up if you're looking for some good food and nice views. It's called the Barrel House. It's on the second floor. They have a balcony out there where you can sit back and relax and enjoy some good drinks and food and enjoy the beautiful views of the bay. And right next to it is the holiday shop where it's Christmas all year around. Try to go in there and not buy something. It is amazing. It's a magical land. Now I know it's hot enough now. Well, the sun is out anyways. But you know what? Hot or cold, ice cream is good any time of the day. A local ice cream place right here. To your left, Lampert's Ice Cream. It's the only place to go, folks. Don't go get a Dryer's ice cream. You can get that anywhere. Get Lampert's. Local ice cream. And if you haven't had lunch or you're looking for that amazing burger, the best burger, I'm not talking McDonald's, I'm not talking In-N-Out, I'm talking amazing burger. Half-pound Black Angus all-natural burger. It's a little hole in the wall right here to your left, right here. If you blink, you'll miss it. It's called Hamburgers. That's it right there, folks. That's the best place for burgers. That's where I have lunch. Oh, it's delicious. Over to the left right here, in the brick building, restrooms. Next to that is the Bank of America ATMs, in case you run out of cash. Shopping in Sausalito. And to the right is the ferry landing. So right here, they have kiosks where you can buy your tickets to take a trip across the bay back to San Francisco. I think they run around somewhere from $11 to $13. And they run at different times of the day. And so this is our only stop right here in Sausalito. So if you guys are planning to stay around for an hour, I'll see you in an hour at 4:30. Now there's a little houseboat that's modeled after the Taj Mahal of India. Just about 5 minutes walk straight through these the boardwalk right here, and you'll see it to the right. Okay? And over to the left over here where the buses are at, there's a little white house there that's like a museum, a little bit of history of Sausalito. Okay? And it's free. Yeah. That's the Taj Mahal of Sausalito. It's somebody's private houseboat. Yes. Private houseboat, folks. I've been all the way to the front door almost. Most of them built by ex-hippies, maybe. I don't know if they ever become ex-hippies, but you'll be able to see a couple of them.
Hindi, I
It's a
mean,
nice village.
hindi, I mean, nasira na dahil pinagbahayan na.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Diba?
Ginawang ano. Because of the lake.
Yeah.
Because of the...
Now they had a workforce of 18,000 people producing, well, 18,000 people working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, producing about one ship every 4 weeks. They did this from 1941 until 1943. Now if you've never seen a Liberty ship before, you're in luck, because in San Francisco, up Pier 41 or so, there's a Liberty ship there called the Jeremiah O'Brien on display. It's like a museum, I think.
No.
I think it is a museum. I've never been there myself, but it looks pretty amazing. Sometimes they do fire out those diesel engines. Now, if you guys
Sabihin mo,
look
baka
real quick to the
maiwan
right,
natin siya,
if you
ha?
blink, you'll miss it. There's a ship right here. It's a Matthew Turner wooden ship being constructed right there. Now, I thought they were going to make that. I'm like, oh, is that for the sequel of the Caribbean, Pirates of the Caribbean? No, it's not. Nothing exciting. It's just for learning purposes. I guess people don't build ships that big anymore, made out of wood, and so it's for people to learn. I'm like, okay, sounds good. At first I thought it was like the Noah's Ark being built. Into the millions. Well, into the million. So I saw one for 1,200. I saw one houseboat for 1.2 million, only 1,200 square feet. I'm like, what? Are you kidding? For a houseboat? Yeah. It didn't look very big. But this is your houseboat in Sausalito. This is your affordable housing here. Where houses in Sausalito start at $2 million. Condos somewhere around $750,000 to $800,000. And then where you have your houseboats here. And of course you can see a lot of the houseboats in different colors, shapes, and sizes. You can see the hippie influence here. And of course hippies migrated from San Francisco after the Summer of Love in 1967. They were inspired by the beautiful views of Sausalito, and they had to live here and started building all these houses all along the shoreline. Cage has a house here in Sausalito, and so does author-writer Amy Tan, and a lot of famous musicians and poets. Swim around for 2 to 3 years, and then they come back to the same river where they were spawned, or creek, and then they spawn, and then they die. And so this year, last year in November, I was able to see some salmon swimming up that creek. Yeah, that was pretty awesome. So there's a lot, it's beautiful, it's gorgeous. So if you guys get a chance, I would highly recommend heading up to Muir Woods. Feel like you're on top of the world with the Golden Gate Bridge there, and then the city in its background. And on the other side, you see beautiful views of the ocean. So the Golden Gate Bridge is actually built to withstand 100 mile per hour wind. It can swing up to 27 feet side to side if it had to. It's only been shut down 3 times in its history due to weather. In 1989, when we had the Loma Prieta earthquake, which was a 6.9, on that day, well, the bridge was going up and down. It was going like this. And people driving into San Francisco saw this. Some of them freaked out, stopped in the middle of the road, got out of the cars and started running in the opposite direction. Luckily for them, nothing happened. The bridge was perfectly fine. It survived without an incident. According to Joseph Strauss, this bridge is going to last it's going to last forever with the proper maintenance. The official color of the bridge is international orange. The original color they were going to paint this bridge was going to be black with yellow stripes, or yellow with black stripes. But the designer Joseph Strauss said, no, that would make my bridge look ugly, so he kept it this color. Now this color was the original color of the bridge as it was being built, it was the protective coating against corrosion, the primer. They've only painted this bridge one time from one end to the other when they were first constructing it. Now, every year they start from one side to the other, repairing spots that need to be repaired. It's a whole process of sanding and scraping and then primering and then painting again. This bridge has a nice cable to wrap around the world, or the circumference of the world, 3 times. Over to the right, you're going to find a beach known as Baker Beach, where you can catch a great sunset out there. Now that beach is where you got to keep your clothes on. So down below here, there's another section of the beach where clothes is optional. And sometimes you'll see them out there walking around butt naked. That's correct. Now it's not legal to walk around naked in San Francisco, but they don't go down there to hassle you. And sometimes you'll find people walking around naked in San Francisco. Now, when I first started working here in San Francisco, about 11 years ago, there was no laws against walking around naked in San Francisco. So you can imagine people just doing their thing. People sitting at cafe tables, having a nice cup of coffee, completely, well, except for wearing shoes, completely naked. Over here to the right, you'll find concrete structures from what this used to be.
Yeah, me and Daddy will explore over there.
Where?
Here, because Mommy's just going to the washroom.
We're going too.
Mommy, why do we have to go to the sea life? Just because we want to pee.
So mean. Restroom right here. It says restroom. Here.
I think God is here too. No, we should have. Well, they got this for both of us.
Safety. I'm always concerned about your safety. Not just mission in Toronto. Mura dito yung structure.
Dad!
And the pop.
Where have you been? Where have you been?
I've been Pier 39.
Pier 39, masantang na kung si Pili.
And then what did you buy?
Oh, look at this.
What did you buy? Wow, look at this. Oh my God. Wow, nice.
Yeah, it's bread.
Nice bread.
Ito pa may crabs at saka ano.
Wow.
At sama ng video mo dapat diretso.
Hindi, tama.
Tomorrow we're gonna fly.
I'm gonna get the crab now.
That one's gonna bring calling French fries. Is that fine? Yep.
Because the grilled cheese is committed together with hot water like that.
No, it's not.
One crab sandwich and a half crab. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Can we both listen to Ashley?
It's better.